They need to go ahead and cancel the season, y'all. They might as well just cancel the season. Um, they need to just go ahead and cancel it. Because when you look at the reality of the situation, it's not just that Kevin Durant confirmed that he was one of the players that tested positive, okay, for this thing, for this illness. All right, he was one of the four. He confirmed it on Twitter. Um, when you have a guy that's a face of your product getting sick, okay, Rudy Gobert is an all-star level player, okay. Donovan Mitchell is an all-star. Um, the other guy wasn't, all right. But Kevin Durant's a superstar. Kevin Durant, when healthy, is arguably the best player in the league. When you got guys who are the face of your product, which is the NBA, getting sick in this pandemic, even though he's asymptomatic, and hopefully he stays asymptomatic. You don't. This isn't. You don't want this, man. Um, yeah. At this point, and like we're just in the beginning stages of it, I don't see the season going on, man. I honestly like. Look, yesterday in my community post, uh, I noted that the amount of confirmed cases crossed 4,000. Right. This afternoon at noon, the amount of reported cases crossed 5,000. Now, the amount of reported cases have crossed officially 6,000 in that short period of time. That's telling you how it's snowballing. Now it's 1,000 people a day, 1,000 plus a day. You know, the trajectory of this is not good. 6,055 confirmed cases, 101 deaths. Now, the mortality rate is low, all right, 1.7% compared to what's going on in other countries. But there's still almost 1 in 50 people statistically that's going to lose their lives. All right. So you still, I mean, still the point is you don't want to lose anybody. And you also don't know who's going to lose their life. So it's no guarantee that you're going to survive it. I mean, you just don't know. So at this point, at this point, the best option is to just shut down the NBA. Because if we're right here now, where are we going to be a month from now? This is what I was fearing about. This is what I was talking about in my videos a week ago, and everybody thought I was just, being paranoid and panicking, and everything will be okay, and we're not like all these other countries. No, because if you saw what happened in China, okay, if you saw the attitude that the European had at first about this virus, they weren't taking it serious. Like a lot of people still aren't taking it serious in this country. And now you got shutdowns. You got countries that are shut down. You got IC units and medical centers that are overwhelmed with people. Overwhelmed. Overwhelmed by people with this thing to the point where some people aren't being treated for it. They got to tough it out. And the elderly, and they got it, it's really bad. Not even getting the proper medical care that they need. So a lot of them are passing away because they don't have the medical personnel. Like I said, the people who I'm really concerned about in this pandemic are the elderly and people who have serious underlying medical conditions like heart disease and respiratory disease, lung disease, um, diabetes to an extent, kidney disease. People like that are at high risk. That's who I'm concerned about. Not necessarily the healthier people. All right. Most people who are healthy, yeah, they're going to get through this most likely. All right. Not guaranteed, but most likely they're going to be able to go through this if they get sick. It's going to be like a bad flu. Okay. Yeah. For most people. Some people, it may not even be more than a bad cold. That's true. Okay. But the problem is the people who are elderly. That's who I'm concerned about. And also, the bigger problem with this thing is it has a longer incubation period than most flu or cold. Like for instance, like Kevin Durant, he said he's asymptomatic. That's what makes it really bad. Kids can get this, but most kids, for the most part, aren't getting sick. For some reason, kids don't get sick from it, but they can pass it on to their grandmother, their great uncle, a sick cousin, and not even know they have it. That's what the danger is. That's what I'm trying to drill to people. It's not you I'm concerned about as much as it's the people who are in the sunset of their lives, people who have conditions. They're the people that we need to be protecting. So I'm sorry. If LeBron James gets denied a championship, oh fucking well. I'm sorry. I know LeBron fans don't want to hear that. They're going to thumb the video down. At this point, I don't give a fuck. Fuck your feelings about some basketball game. At this point, it ain't that important. Fuck his legacy. At this point, shit. I mean, I'm sorry. But I mean, if you, I'm going to put it like this. If you are more upset at LeBron potentially being denied a championship, then if you would rather have LeBron win a championship at the expense of tens of thousands, if not hundreds of thousands of people losing their lives over a virus, then you're a pathetic piece of shit. Like you are a horrible, wretched piece of shit. And if you thumb it down, good, because you deserve to be called that shit. If you're more concerned about a fucking dude winning a championship than the health and safety of your fellow citizens, then fuck you. And I'm gonna say something else too. I just gotta say this, man. Now, throughout the whole primary season, right? You had these people that would say about the candidate I was supporting that he's a communist and he's a socialist, right? People like y'all think the government supposed to do everything for you. Huh? Well, what y'all looking at now? Mr. Conservative, Mr. Do everything for yourself and stop having to live off the government and stop determining for the government to do stuff for you. Motherfuckers want the government to do something for them now, don't they? Motherfuckers want government to send them money and food and goodies now, right? Now you appreciate a socialist system. Now you want the government to act like one of them European socialist countries. You want them to send you that money because your ass is in trouble. But when it's somebody else, oh, pull yourself up by the bootstraps. You know, stop being lazy and living on welfare. Even though a lot of people aren't lazy living on welfare, they're just struggling. I mean, I just think, man, you just gotta try harder. Stop using your race and other things as excuses. You can get this $150,000 job just as good as I am. Stop using race as an excuse. You can get this corporate job just as good as I can. Sick of you niggers and your excuses. What? Corona? What? Corona? Beer? What? Mexicans? What? What is this? A virus? Oh, Trump! I need help. Help me, Trump! Help me, please! Help me! Help me, please! We're in trouble. I can't work. Uh, I haven't been good at my job in a couple of days. I need help, Mr. Trump. Fuck out here. But hopefully though, man, yeah, the NBA need to just go ahead and they just go ahead and shut it down, man. They just go ahead and shut it down because at this point it's just going to get worse. Like in a month, like seriously, do you really think this situation will be rectified in a month? Be honest with yourself. This is the first time that we've experienced something like this in 100 years. Okay, 100 years. Um, and we're gonna have to just make sacrifices, man. Can't be hitting the club every weekend, and you ain't be able to do certain things that you've been doing before. You know, um, One good thing I'll say is this, though, man, in closing this video. Thank goodness we have the medical advances today that the prior pandemic victims didn't have in 1918, 1919. Back then, you had to tough it out. I was reading about basically people just walking around with masks on. That was pretty much their best defense. If they got sick, that you had to tough it out. Tough it out. You know, hopefully you know what I'm saying, you make it through. But a lot of people lost their lives in that pandemic, man. That influenza pandemic. I think 675,000 Americans died as a result of that pandemic. 675,000. So this is the seriousness of the situation. Now this one doesn't seem to have quite the mortality rate of that one, but this is the thing too. If I'm not mistaken, 1/3 of all Americans were infected with the Spanish influenza virus that year. 1/3. I forgot what the national population was. Let me see. You look up a 1920 census. It was 106.5 million in the census. So let's just say it was 100 million people at the time.